Hey guys, it's Ryan. It's Sports Life. That was Derrick Henry throwing Josh Norman into oblivion. And that's where we're going to start today. Welcome to the show. All right, so that was definitely a brutal stiff arm. That was kind of the beatdown that the Titans gave the Bills. That was just kind of that entire play. That play didn't even count. There was offsetting penalties on it. But Derrick Henry absolutely threw Josh Norman, and that is crazy, crazy, crazy. Titans ended up winning 42-16. They had a good balance of run and pass offense. They had a good defense going. They stopped Josh Allen and the Bills. They really actually looked the part. So, good job to Tennessee. Even with all their COVID issues, they had only practiced like 3 times the last 2 weeks. So, good job there for the Titans. Good win. Mike Vrabel's definitely got it going on up there. Good coach. He's got that Bill Belichick mindset, except he seems like he has a little bit more fun with his players. Well, last week in the NFL was kind of interesting. There was, I would say, you could call upsets. There was teams that kind of got back to reality. Like Vegas getting the better of the Chiefs last week, and the Chiefs still dropped 32 points. Vegas got 40. Uh, Carr actually looked really good this week. Now, if he looks good next week, who knows? The Josh Jacobs guy, he's a beast as far as a running back goes. And, they went out there and played some ball. Caught Kansas City kind of on an off week, and they got the better of the Chiefs. Which, by the way, the Chiefs just picked up Le'Veon Bell, who was dropped by the Jets. It might be a good backup for them. Not like they really needed any more talent on that team, but it might not be too bad. You also had... This is what I actually kind of think is an upset. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins kind of just demolished the 49ers. They ended up winning 43-17, which is pretty nice. For a Dolphins team that really wasn't supposed to be in it, they're right there in that division fighting for it. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's not a terrible quarterback. Anybody who says that has obviously never watched football. He is a good quarterback. He makes a lot of mistakes, yes, but he knows how to throw the ball. I mean, he had 350 yards passing and 1 touchdown. So not a bad little fit going on down there in Miami. The Falcons, yet again, they lost again. Dan Quinn finally is out as the coach. They might actually have a chance this week to get their first win against the Vikings. Maybe that's what they need, just Dan Quinn gone. Maybe they can actually get going a little bit. So that could be a good thing for there. course, you had the absolutely terrible, and I mean, this was a brutal ankle injury for Dak Prescott. The Cowboys found a way to win behind Andy Dalton. They beat the Giants 37-34. Dalton's not a bad quarterback, guys. He led a Cincinnati team who's never been good to the playoffs quite a few years. So Dalton's not bad. For you Cowboys fans, that might be a good thing for them. Let them settle down. Maybe they'll actually start playing some defense. Maybe Andy Dalton can get that O-line going. But, I mean, I absolutely felt for Dak Prescott. That injury looked brutal. He was in pain. He was in tears. It hurt so bad. I felt for the guy. And, I mean, how could you not? He did everything right and, ended up with a broken ankle. That Cowboys team, though, they got to work on some defense if they want to try to. I mean, they're still probably going to win that division, but man, their defense is so bad. But carry on. The Seahawks and Saints both needed comeback wins over the Vikings and Chargers. Russell Wilson, fourth quarter, you never want to give him a chance, and that's what the Vikings did. And then, oh man, one of my upset picks last week too. The Chargers, they were up by 17. And Drew Brees found a way. He found a way to come back. And they won by 3. So, good job on the Saints. Good job on the Seahawks. Seahawks stay undefeated on the year. You also had the Cleveland Browns beat up a pretty good Indy team. The Colts were 4-1 heading into that game. They have one of the best defenses in the league. And the Browns won pretty soundly. I mean, it wasn't like they were ever close. So now that kind of leads the Browns into a good matchup this week. They got to go up against the Steelers, who are still undefeated. Pittsburgh beat up on the Eagles 38-29 last week. I want to see if the Browns can continue it. If they can go in there and win a division game against the Steelers or the Ravens and see what can happen. It would be nice to see Cleveland finally get a hold of themselves and get into the playoffs. I would love it. Obviously, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, but it would be nice to see them actually kind of find a way to get in there. And it's kind of would be a good way to see if they can actually play with some big boys, play with the Steelers, play with the Ravens. And I'm not even saying if they win this game, but if they can keep this game close, then I think they're heading in the right direction for sure. Their defense needs to work on it a little bit, but definitely think that the Cleveland Browns are heading finally in the right direction. So, some other big games this week. I mean, you got 2 division leaders right now in Chicago and Carolina. If they win and Tampa loses, they are the sole leaders of that division. And I don't care what you say, but Matt Rule is doing a good job down there in Carolina. Yes, they haven't won big games, but they've won big games. It's early in the season, but if Matt Rule can find a way to get that Carolina team in the playoffs, man. Of course, it's going to be tough to overcome Drew Brees and the Saints once they finally get going, finally get Michael Thomas back and actually get to play, but still. Good job, Matt Rule. I appreciate what you're doing down there. Broncos and Patriots, another good game. You got Cam that's kind of on the back from the COVID issues. Packers and Bucks. I don't know if I actually like this game right now. If I'm a Green Bay fan, I should love it. But Brady does find ways to kind of wreck team seasons, I guess. And it is in Tampa. I still think the Packers have the edge, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And that's not saying anything for Brady's arm, but I'm just saying I bet you they actually find ways to score. And that would be a big-time win for the Bucks. I might... We'll say I might drift a little more their way if they do win. I doubt it. I'm not big on them. They like to turn the ball over too much. And Brady likes to throw too many pick sixes each week, but... We'll see. Definitely a good matchup. And then another high-scoring game, I'm guessing, is going to be the Chiefs and the Bills. Both teams coming off losses. Both teams coming, off basically a bad week for him. I think it's going to be high scoring in that one as well. I think that Le'Veon, well, he won't get to play this week, but I think he will help the Chiefs in the long run. And I think, the Bills still, Josh Allen's a good quarterback. Their run game is solid. Their defense is solid. I think they just had an off week last week or ran into a really good Tennessee team. So we'll see what happens in this. And then another team or another game, one of the other ones that I saw that was kind of a big time matchup. You've got Arizona and Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is without Dak, their leader. Can they hang with a Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury led offense? Can they hang with that kind of caliber? I think they can. I think they are perfectly fine with Andy Dalton. I think it actually balances the NFL out a little bit more because he's not trying to run. He's just out there to make plays. That's all he's going to do. Their run game will come alive a little bit. I do think the Cardinals win this game, but I think it'll be a very close game. And would not shock me if it comes down to like a late field goal or something like that.
So Lincoln Riley gambles, and it pays off. Play but Creed Humphrey. Just get behind big 56. Gets a nice push there from Tyrese Robinson, number 52, the right guard. And Rattler, 6'1", 205. It's across that goal line. Good push. Look at that push. And they're even Adrian Ely, 59, with a good play. Ehlinger. In trouble. Ehlinger gets downfield. Ehlinger still running. Ehlinger on his feet. Barry Toledo. Big Sam. Whoa. Touchdown, Texas. I mean, this is an incredible run from Ehlinger, but they got away with an egregious hold on Keontae Ingram. Watch 26 working against number 24, Asamoah, right here. He's going to tackle Ehlinger, and he's just absolutely held right there. He can't get there. Ehlinger finds the corner, cuts back, and is in the end zone. But a really poor missed call and tackle. So Decker comes on to attempt a 32-yard field goal. Perrion Winfrey. It was. Look at his left hand is up there. He comes in as a junior college transfer as one of the most highly recruited junior college players in the country. They desperately needed help. Alex Grinch couldn't even watch his package to the play. And Winfrey, 6. Gabe Burkage for the win. 31 yards away. Oh, he saved it! Whoa! Unbelievable! College football. Fox Sports. The Big 12. Second down and 10 and 25. Rattler again to throw it. Steps up in the pocket. Throws on the right. Drake Stokes, touchdown over you. Spencer Rattler on a dive. That's right, I'm a five-star. When I came out of Arizona, I was the best in the country. I'm going to show you now. This was beautiful. Watch as Stoops works the middle of the field and then just keeps going. And right here, he knows I'm wide open. Looks back at his quarterback. Rattler finds him. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Beautiful throw from Rattler. And an equally great route from Stoops because he felt the space and he occupied that space, giving his quarterback a target. Drake Stoops. Here comes the two-point conversion. Rattler sprints out. Time to throw. Got it. Touchdown, Weiss. Well, two-point conversion, Weiss. right option. It's just a dead sprint out to the right side, and then you're going to have a couple of guys out there in the flat, and that's the only spot he can throw it. Lincoln Riley told us this week that Rattler throws the ball on the run outside of the pocket as what's been Sam's feet that have got him out of trouble. Ellinger lines up. And that's your ball game. Trey Brown. And that'll be the story of this game for Oklahoma. The Oklahoma defense forcing turnovers like never before. 53-45. OU wins it in a thriller.
All right, guys. So, yes, I know I'm an OU fan. I don't care. Forget that. This is one of the best rivalries in college football. And if you missed that game last week, you missed out on one of the best football games probably of all time. And, you know, that video didn't even show the comeback that Texas had to do to get there. It didn't show that, you know, Spencer Rattler got benched in the first half because he was playing terribly. And, you know, I think that was a good move by Lincoln Riley. You bench him, you calm him down a little bit, bring him back out in the second half, and he played a really good ball game. Now, there's some questionable play calls there at the end that actually led Texas to come back to force overtime. But, I mean, between Rattler and Ellinger, I mean, they both played the games of their lives right there. And, yes, I'm an Oklahoma fan. Yes, I get tired of hearing about Sam Ellinger. Oh, my goodness, that guy deserves all the credit after that game. I mean, he did everything he could to will his team back, you know. Just one bad mistake, and that's kind of what the difference. 4 overtimes. It's only the second time ever that the Red River Shootout has gone into overtime. I'm sorry, I can't call it shootout, rivalry. But that was by far one of the best games last week. Closest games last week. Both teams are having a bad season. And you know what? That could be a turning point for one of them. And so, do I think Tom Herman is a good coach for Texas? No, I don't. Do I think Texas is back? Absolutely not. Do I think OU is a lot better than they've shown? Absolutely. But they are a young team, and a lot of things have happened this year. So, of course, you know, they're off this week. OSU's off this week. So, Big 12's kind of a little half on, half off. Of course, you know, one of my other upsets that I picked last week was North Carolina getting beat by Virginia Tech. Well, I mean, Virginia Tech gave North Carolina everything they could handle as they dropped 45 points. But Mac Brown and that Carolina team found a way to win. They outlasted them 56-45. So he's got them in the top 5. Mac Brown's a good coach. Mac Brown is a very solid coach, and I cannot believe Texas ever let him go. He's won them championships. He won them, he's got him to 2 championships. He won 1. He's a great coach. I don't understand why they'd ever let him go. But he has got that Carolina team rolling. So, speaking of rolling, Clemson proved yet again that Miami is not back. As they steamrolled D'Eriq King and they got after him. They finally showed you that he's not that great of a quarterback. I'm sorry, he's not. They sacked him left and right. Venables played a great, had a great strategy. As they win 42-17, that was a good game for Clemson. Not so good for Miami. The U is definitely not back. And I think they kind of have a little bit of hangover. I'll talk about that here in a little bit later on the show. But I think that Miami's in a lot of trouble now. That first loss is usually where it all goes down the drain. And I'd love to see if they can find a way to come back and kind of compete a little bit. But I don't see it. I definitely don't see it now. BYU had to actually find a way. Wilson kind of got in a little trouble last week. Threw like 2 interceptions. But they did find a way to win over UTSA, the Roadrunners, out of San Antonio there. They won 27-20. A good game to watch for this week, though. And it's not just because Nick Saban possibly out with Corona, but the fact that it's Bama versus Georgia. Number 2 versus number 3. That's a big time matchup. If Nick Saban can't coach, I give the edge to Georgia. If Nick Saban finds a way to get out there, which I feel like it's kind of silly that he can't even coach from home. I get that it's kind of cheating, but I don't see how it'd be so much cheating. I feel like he should be able to at least coach, in his own booth or something. But I feel like Georgia's a better team. Bama didn't look that great against Ole Miss last week. They gave up 48 points. Georgia came off a dominant win over Tennessee last week. I think Georgia might be the better team this year. But here's my biggest hang-up. They always find ways to lose the big game. They always find ways to lose the game that they should be able to win. If Georgia can't go in there and beat on a Nick Saban-less Alabama team, then, well, there's just... I'm sorry, Georgia. I feel for you. You're right there. But you're just not there yet. So Georgia better get it done this week. If they get it done, they are running the SEC. Now, my other SEC team that I thought was going to actually kind of run the table a little bit, they got beat by A&M last week. I thought Florida was going to take over the SEC. Nope, not even a little bit. They go to College Station, get beat on a last-second field goal. It's kind of crazy. I did not see a lot of upsets like we are seeing, but this is the 2020 year that is insane, and everything is backwards. So, lots and lots of upsets. So, which leads me to my next points. It's upset alert time.
This message is transmitted at the request of the United States Office of Civil Defense. 3:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right, for those of you that don't know, that is Texas A&M's fight song. I have put Texas A&M on upset alert. They are going up against Mississippi State. Obviously, the Aggies might have a little bit of a hangover from last week, getting that big W down in, or actually, they were at College Station. They got to go to Mississippi State, who Mike Leach has been struggling a little bit. His quarterback the last 2 weeks has turned the ball over like 10 total times, I think. 5 interceptions in both games. I think Mike Leach figures it out. I think he gets it done. I think A&M has the hangover, and I think they get beat. They are a 5-point favorite right now. But the Aggies should be on upset alert. And then for my other upset, I actually already mentioned it. These guys are a little bit bigger favorite. They are a 13.5-point favorite. I think that they're also going to have a little bit of a hangover from last week. And that is the Miami Hurricanes, who is going up against this team. Alright, so that song is called Hail Pitt. That is the Pittsburgh Panthers fight song. And yes, I am taking them to beat Miami, who is a 13.5 point favorite. I am taking the Pittsburgh Panthers. I think Miami's going to have a little bit of a hang up, and have a hangover, I should say. And I think Pitt gets it done.
Your first NBA Finals, your first title. When you imagined, when you were growing up back on the playgrounds of Chicago, this moment, how does the reality stack up with the dream?
You can't even put it into words. To be out here and grind with these guys for a full 12 months, been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of arguments, a lot of tough moments. And to hear that horn go off and we NBA champions, man, it's just a real feeling. I'm just happy it's with these guys.
You told me for years when you couldn't get into the playoffs sometimes in New Orleans, all you wanted was the chance to test yourself, to be there at the end when the competition was highest. What you were able to do, especially defensively, during this finals, what did you learn about yourself?
You got to compete. It's tough. It's tough on the body. It's a lot of hard work, but these guys push me every day, especially Bron and Doe. They always on me about being great, being better, covering up every mistake. It's my job. And to be able to, win it and grind and see how tough it is and see this feeling and want this feeling again. That's what it's about, to get this feeling and want this feeling again. And like I said, I'm happy with these guys, man. We've been through a lot, man. Ups and downs, start from the beginning of the season.
He's trying to give you something over there.
We're here. I love these guys, man.
Anthony.
It's over right now.
Anthony, you became teammates with Kobe Bryant back in the 2012 Olympics. He was a big brother to you for the rest of your time through New Orleans and then coming to here. I know that you have been thinking of him. You told me before the NBA Finals, I cannot let him down. Anthony, you did not let him down. What does it mean to you to have done that?
Ever since the tragedy, all we wanted to do is do it for him, and we didn't let him down. It would have been great to do it, last game in his jerseys, but, it made us come out even more aggressive, even more powerful on both ends of the floor to make sure we close it out tonight. And I know he's looking down on us, proud of us. I know, Vanessa's proud of us, the organization's proud of us. It means a lot to us. It's a tough moment, man.
What do you want from me? What's wrong with y'all? See, you like that?
He was a
You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that?
He was a big brother to all of us, and we did this for him.
Before I let you go, I do want to ask you about your dad, who told you that he would quarantine as long as it took to be here for this moment, and in fact, of course, he did.
He's one of my biggest supporters. I mean, he's sitting here quarantined 30 days just to be right here in this moment. He's always texting me before games, telling me to go get it. He's my biggest critic, my biggest supporter. I know he's proud of me. He was with me from the beginning of my career.
All right, guys. So I have to give the Lakers credit. They knocked off the pesky Heat. LeBron does get his fourth championship out of 10 ties. But I show this video because it is insanely crazy to me that now the Lakers are tied for most all-time championships. It just happened to be the year that Kobe had the tragic death that we all like. I mean, Kobe was one of my favorite players watching growing up. And so for this just moment for the Lakers, not LeBron, for the Lakers organization, I really am happy they actually got it done this week. Now, I think they just caught the Heat kind of off guard. The Heat were exhausted after that Game 5 performance. They left it all on the table there. But good job for Lakers. You did tie. You are now tied with 17 championships for the Celtics. And you are the favorites, according to Vegas, to win next year. However, I don't want to talk much on, the game. You could tell the Heat were just beat. They were done. And they put up a good fight, but they were exhausted. They were absolutely exhausted. And so I'm not going to talk much on that game itself, but I will talk about the favoritism for next year. Yes, the Lakers won this year. Yes, I'm happy for them, for their Mamba moments. I'm happy. I'll even say I'm happy for LeBron, and he's trying to push his greatness, okay? But really and truly, there's a team out there that everybody forgets about because they weren't playing this year. They were off this year. They were kind of hurt still. That is the Golden State Warriors, a team that I feel like kind of started all of it. Like, you still got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green. They have a top 5 draft pick, and really and truly, I think Golden State should be the team to beat. Until someone actually knocks them off, I'm not counting them out this year because, no one played. But until someone knocks them off, I'm not putting them as not the favorite. It's just, there's no way you can't. They were winning before Durant got there. They built a team up around them. I think the Warriors are still the team to beat out there. I could be wrong. It could be, it could be the Clippers who hired Ty Lue as their head coach. It's kind of a weird choice in my opinion. They do still have a great team around them, but he's just a yes man. He doesn't coach. He just says yes to all the players. He doesn't have to do anything. So I don't know if that's a great fit for the Clippers either. And I don't think they're going to make any runs for the championship. I really don't. I think Paul George is good at choking in the playoffs. But I really do. I think it's Golden State. Golden State's got to be the favorite. Yes, the Lakers won this year, but they didn't have to go up against Steph Curry. They didn't have to go up against Klay Thompson. The two guys who don't even have to dribble the ball anywhere on the court and still find ways to score. Now, until they knock off those guys, and I'm not saying let them hurt, I'm saying knock those guys, go out there and beat them. The Warriors are the favorites. Now, next year might be a little interesting. So, usually the NBA season takes about 177 days, okay? But we're not sure there's going to be a cure for the virus, so we're not sure that there's going to be a whole lot of anything next year. But what we do know is that they are planning ahead already. They're going to try to narrow it down to about 150 days. They're going to still try to get it done, within their 6 months and get into the playoffs. Fans aren't a guarantee right now, but they're really trying to get fans into the stadiums. And right now they're looking at not having an All-Star week, which to me, I would actually prefer that. All-Star weekend, I mean, the dunk contest used to be really cool. The 3-point contest is still, alright. Skills challenge is kind of, And the All-Star game is just no one cares. It's just guys out there just going and dunking and doing whatever they can, It's not even a basketball game. Like, it means absolutely nothing, but you got honor of being an All-Star. So I kind of like the idea of not having All-Star Week. I do think it'd be kind of cool to see, just a different kind of season. I kind of like what baseball did. I felt like the shorter season actually made it interesting because every game mattered. And so I don't know. Well, it's still kind of interesting. We're going to have to see how this virus plays out. But a shorter season and a no All-Star game, I think, would be a good fit. Now, on that baseball note, okay, so there are some interesting things going on in baseball right now. One of those being the fact that you still have the Astros hanging around after everything that happened to them last year. They got called out for cheating, and they are still there. They were down 3-0 to the Rays, and they're right now in the bottom of the fifth. In Game 6, they are up 4-1 on Tampa Bay, trying to even the series up at 3 apiece. And God, I'm mixed feelings. I think it would be good for the Astros organization to get out there and say, "Hey, we can win without cheating." And I think it'd be crazy to see the second ever 3-0 series blown. Obviously, the Red Sox did it over the Yankees however long ago. What was it, 2004? Where the Red Sox ended up going and beating up on my Cardinals. That's the only time in sports history. It's not just baseball. In sports history that it's ever happened. And it's a very, very, very possible outcome right now. The Rays are kind of falling apart. Um, the Astros had 4 runs in the 5th inning today. And that's where they're at, 4-1. So, I don't know. I really hope the Rays get it done. I really hope they find a way to at least win Game 7. If not, come back today. But I don't know. I don't like the Astros. They used to be in my division. I don't like the fact that they had to cheat to win. But the fact that they're still playing and they're not cheating, that proves quite a bit to me. They should have never done it anyways. On the other side, I mean, you got the Braves and the Dodgers, and really, 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 besides one good game from the Dodgers where they won 15-3, the Braves have really controlled this series. They're at 3-1 in it now. They're really, really hard to beat. They just have so much offense. I mean, one game, yeah, the Dodgers got 15 runs, 8 or 9 of those in the first inning, but I I would love to see a Atlanta Tampa Bay World Series. It's 2 teams you would not expect to have got there, and I think it'd be great for the sport to see 2 new faces there. Atlanta obviously hasn't been there since the 90s, and I think they're the best team left. I think Atlanta is probably going to take the World Series no matter who they go up against. Now, if the Stros do come out, they're going to have a lot of offense themselves, but I don't know. Well, it's very interesting. I love that we're in the Final Four of the baseball season. I hate that it's about to come to an end. Kind of like everything. It's kind of at that point of the year where we are at where everything ends. It's just that time of year. But man, oh man, baseball is heating up, and it is heating up fast. So I'm kind of wrapping up a little bit here. We do have a big, big, big boxing match tomorrow. You got Lomachenko versus Lopez. Both fighters only lost one fight. Lopez 14-1 and Lomachenko 15-1. Big fight, big championship belt. I don't see. I mean, I haven't seen much of Lopez. I have watched Lomachenko before, and he wears you down. He comes after you to kill after about the 6th round, but he wears you down. And he's a lot stronger than I think Lopez is. I think he will probably win this fight pretty easily. Definitely going to be watching it when I get home off of work tomorrow. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a good fight, but it might be. And I think Lopez is going to get tired. And he's just going to get worn down really quickly. When Lomachenko's jab game is working and he's got his counter hooks and everything, it's just I don't see how he's going to lose that one. But like I said, both their records show they're both good fighters. Both of them, obviously, they'll be fighting on top rank boxing. So, I hope they both just go out there and wail on each other. Honestly, I want to see a good fight. I don't want to see a lot of that hugging. I want to see 2 guys going at it and battling and beating each other up and just having fun. That's what makes good boxing, makes good UFC fights, is when you're having fun and you're beating the other guy senseless. So, last thing I can talk about. Now, last week, I did actually pick Nadal to beat Djokovic in the French Open final. He did just that. And what I thought was cool about it was Roger Federer, who is now tied with Rafael Nadal, with Djokovic 3 behind, for tournament opens, wins. And they're both at 20 now, And Roger Federer was the first person to congratulate him. I thought that was really respectful for a rival who, those three had dominated the sport, and Rafael Nadal has tied Roger Federer. And that is good sportsmanship, but man, that's a huge rivalry, and I'd hate that when Roger Federer returns. That's going to be some good tennis. They're going to have some good volleys back and forth. So I'm excited for actual tennis. I can't believe I've said that. I've said more of that this year than I ever have, but not a whole lot else to do besides watch sports. I'm not big into politics or anything, so. I didn't really mention a whole lot of fantasy players this week for football. I think that maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick as far as quarterback. We'll pick a running back, a kicker, and a receiver as well. I think maybe for kicker, I would go with possibly, Tucker's never bad. Justin Tucker. Obviously, they're going up against the Eagles. Yeah, I'd go Justin Tucker. Receivers. I'm going to go with Michael Claypool from the Steelers. He had a big game last game. I don't think he slows down this week against the Browns. And running backs. I would go with... I'm going to say probably Aaron Jones. I think he probably has a really big game. And probably Ezekiel Elliott would be up there as well. That would be my fantasy picks this week. That's kind of what I've got for my show this week. You guys know where to find me. I'm here every week. Be sure to check out Rita at Beautiful Eats. That is 2 words with a Z at the end of Eats. She makes amazing food, and I might actually head over to her channel right now. But that's my week this week, guys. And I will talk to you next week. Have a good day.